Hey everybody, Jim and Chris here to talk about today's big news about the female Ghostbusters cast has been revealed.
Yeah.
Mind you, now they're in early talks, but when the director tweets out a photo of the actors, I'm pretty sure you can take it to the bank that this here is your cast. So should we tell the folks who these...
Yeah, run it down.
All right, so we have Kristen Wiig from Bridesmaids, along with her Bridesmaids co-star Melissa McCarthy,
who you will recognize from everything. She's
from
in everything now.
And of course, Paul Feig, the director of Bridesmaids, is also directing the Ghostbusters reboot. And then we have two current Saturday Night Live cast members, Leslie Jones and Kate McKinnon.
Right.
And so this is our quartet.
This is
new comedy quartet.
A very SNL heavy group.
Yeah.
Very SNL heavy group. So
even more than the first movie, which
Right.
had some SCTV people too, with Rick Moranis, and then Aykroyd and Murray were it, really.
Yeah, I mean, you think like this cast, has been hinted at before.
We knew McCarthy was in
McCarthy. I think we could have all assumed that Kristen Wiig was going to be involved in some way. The moment you saw Feig was attached to it, it's like, oh, and it's a female Ghostbusters, which was the big news. But now, like, we're not even going to talk about that. Whether that's
this
a good
is the
idea.
movie we're
It's
getting,
happening.
folks.
It's
This
happening.
is it.
So now we have, and then the other person is Cecily Strong, who's also
Cecily
SNL.
Strong. She is also a current, I believe, still current SNL cast member. She was on Weekend Update for a while, and her role reportedly is that of sort of a government agent, kind of along the lines. It keeps getting compared to William Atherton's character from the first one.
So good.
This man has no dick. That character.
That has been confirmed.
Yeah.
over and over again. So yeah, I mean, it feels unsurprising, this cast to me. It doesn't feel like, with the exception of, I could have seen somebody like Emma Stone getting introduced into this group.
I think that's what's surprising to me, is that there had been talks of more mainstream kind of actresses like Emma Stone, and even Jennifer Lawrence came up. Rebel Wilson apparently was talked to, like
Pitch Perfect.
And she had talked on record about how they had talked to her about it. So I guess I was a little surprised that like, I figured Wiig and McCarthy were definitely going to be in there.
Sure.
But as for the other two roles, like McKinnon, this is a big move for her, and also for Leslie Jones. I mean, this will put them on the map for folks who don't watch SNL or don't really follow their stand-up. But it's also, I mean, look, this is a very diverse cast too, even though it is for women. We have an African-American woman. We have a openly gay woman. We have, obviously, overweight person. I was trying to find, and then kind of your more lack of a better term, straight man character in Kristen Wiig. So I mean, it's a very
probably be like she kind of plays a little bit to type now, like kind of nervous.
Yeah, I see her almost being sort of like, there's no real analog to like the old team, but I would say she's probably going to be more like the Egon type.
I think that's important to note, actually. Like, I don't see this team necessarily being like, okay, this person matches up with this person, this person. And I think it's probably a good idea to get on board with this Ghostbuster movie, to just get Ghostbusters movie, to get all those ideas out of your head, because I don't think this is going to be Ghostbusters. From the Sony leaks, we found out that it could potentially be a government agency. It could have more of a Men in Black vibe.
Yeah, kind of like Cecily Strong's character is kind of supposed to be sort of like their handler, who says one thing in public, kind of denouncing them, but in private is more of their sort of conduit or liaison. But we'll see how that pans out. I mean, the first Ghostbusters, the script was pretty loosey-goosey, even though the guys who starred in the movie wrote it. It was pretty, and they talk about this in the commentary tracks, like, the movie that you got was not the movie that was on the page, and I think it's going to be similar with this, too, where the bare bones of the structure, the plot will kind of be there, but the jokes and sort of the spirit of it will come out from the interactions of these four particular comedians. They
definitely have like a improv background, so I think you'll see some of that. But I think also Feig has a point of view, and we're going to see that implemented. I think you're going to see heavy marketing from the person who brought you Bridesmaids, and the Heat, but the Heat wasn't.
I didn't like the Heat.
Like, critically not as successful as Bridesmaids, which was, I thought, hilarious. if they can replicate the success there, I think people might forget about the fact that like they were so hated this idea in the beginning. But I don't know. I think it has a lot to overcome. Is this the right cast to overcome it?
I think that, look, if with this approach, if it being a female-led cast, I think this is a solid basis for that. I think it really, ultimately, like any other movie, it depends on the story that they have to tell. They depend on what their take on the Ghostbusters is. Remember, if you really want to be critical about Ghostbusters, there was only one great movie. There was a cartoon series that even couldn't quite use the elements that the original movie had, and then there was a sequel that you either like it or hate it.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone actually loves it.
You apologize for it. You're nostalgic about it, or you totally dislike it.
I think this movie already is at a better starting point than probably Ghostbusters 2 was, where you were coming 5 years after that kind of zeitgeist,
I will say it's probably a better idea than Ghostbusters 3 is.
Yeah.
I'm the thing that Aykroyd was working so hard for so long to put together. I'm happy we're not getting that iteration of it. I'm not so sure about this one either, honestly. It kind of totally remains to be seen. Like, there's a lot of details that have to be filled in. The cast is a good, important part, and I think a lot of these women are very funny. But I want to see what the idea is. Is it going to be a government agency? Our producer Kyle had this awesome idea where maybe it's that Ghostbusters get franchised all over the country, and this is just a franchise of the Ghostbusters. If that's the idea, and you have Dan Aykroyd popping up in the mix, I think that could be an amazing idea.
I pitched to you the idea of what if he was like the Q to their James Bond,
Exactly. So something like that could be a really cool take on this. I mean, I think the cast in and of themselves, all accomplished, strong, good performers. How they mix together and how this movie actually comes together, what the elements are, what the story of this even is, remains to be seen.
Well, the ghost, I mean, also what is the kind of the phantom menace, if you will? Like, what do the ghosts do? Is there, who are going to be some of the other characters? Who's going to be, will there be like their version of, was it Janine, right? The secretary?
We got to have a male Janine, right?
Rick Moranis' character, or a Sigourney Weaver. I mean, who knows?
I'd love to see Rick Moranis come back in this, just pop up out of nowhere. Just, hey, it's Rick Moranis.
Here's the thing. Here's why I was hoping it would actually be tied to the past films, is that so the villain could be Oscar. The kid from the second movie, Sigourney Weaver's kid. Just think about it. You're a baby, you get touched by evil, comes back years later, and now you're the bad guy. That's just my dorky 2 cents. But we want to hear what you think about this new cast. We have all new Ghostbusters. It's a new era, new day here. So let us know in the comments below what you think of this cast. And for all things Ghostbusters, keep it locked here on IGN.